Guess we'll get going. Good evening. We'll call the meeting to order, please, with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Roll call, Mr. Lundberg.
Owen.
Yes.
Odie. Yes. Saxer.
Yes.
Scott. Yes. Bell. Yes.
All right. If there are no questions or concerns with the agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve that as presented, please.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All of those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. No conflict of interest conflict of interest disclosure or waiver requests this evening. Takes us to approval of the minutes from our regular meetings on February 9th and February 23rd. I would entertain a motion to approve those as presented.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Community input, I'm not seeing him here right now.
Yeah, Madam Chair, we received communication from Ryan Holford that he was going to come and share some good news, and at this time, it doesn't appear as though he's been able to make it, so I'd ask you to move forward.
All right, thank you. That takes us to our financial items. Bills and claims, Mr. Lundberg.
Okay. As always, feel free to ask me any questions you guys might have on the listing of bills and claims that we submitted in our agenda. In the listing, once again, this month, there's approximately $20,000 of activity workers included in the listing. Page 4, I did want to comment right in the middle, Constellation Energy, the natural gas bill of $35,000 for the month of March. Obviously, we've had a very good winter, and with that $35,000, our total spent to date on natural gas is only $70,000 on a $200,000 budget. So, very obvious. It's been a nice winter. Page 9, I had one more. Berkman Valley Elementary, $1,180,000. Brings the total paid to date of 19.4 million out of a total of 23 million. Both of those projects are winding down, getting closer to the end. Total bills of $2,978,000 for the month of March. The advance payments breakdown is listed in your packet, $7,614. Quite a list of pay vouchers of $112,117 and just under $200,000 in food service bills.
All right, any questions on the bills and claims this evening? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the bills and claims as presented, please.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Financial report, Mr. Lundberg, whenever you're ready.
Okay, the cash report showed $25 million coming into the month of February, $5,115,000 of receipts, and $5.7 million of disbursements, left $24,370,000 of cash at the end of the month of February. $9.8 million in the general fund, $4.1 million in the capital outlay fund, $533,000 in the special education fund, $38,000 in the bond redemption fund, $90,000 in the enterprise fund, and $9.7 million in our capital projects fund. The $5,115,000 is itemized on the next two pages. Right in the middle of the first page of that thing, I did want to point out and we've talked about this a lot, but it shows the bank franchise tax payment of $1,368,000. That's just another year of it coming in very strong. It was a budget amount of $900,000, which we took up a little bit from last year even, and it's still coming at 1.4. So all that's coming out according to Hoyle, how we're planning on it. The investment report, $21.4 million. Payroll and benefits summary for February was just over $3 million, $3,091,000. As I told you before, a normal payroll in the 25-26 school year would be 3 million. This is a little higher than that due to a 5-week time frame. Financial reports, the revenues, we're 2/3 of the way through the fiscal year, just under 67%. Have no issues on any of the revenue numbers. You can see the comparisons against last year, all right in, pretty much right in line. The expenditure side of things, general fund is at 65.7%, which would translate to 99 to 99.5% of total budget at the end of the year. Capital outlay fund, 75% expended. Special ed fund, 61.6% expended. No issues on any of the expenditures either. Capital projects fund is there for your review. As I told you, they're starting to wind down. Food service shows a net accrued loss of just under $200,000 with a budgeted loss of $100,000, so it's higher than what we'd like, but it's well within our projection. Lastly, the trust and agency statement showed $319,801 of amounts held for others. Any questions?
All right, hearing no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the financial report as presented.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. I think we'll circle back to community input. I see Mr. Hofer here, so if you would come and share, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I apologize. We all burned the candle at both ends. I discovered that there's a wick in the middle that tends to burn both directions. In the interest of great things happening at BV, I wanted to point out a couple of things that I thought stood out in my mind as of late. During halftime of the February 17 boys basketball game, we got to see the BVI indoor percussion group. We can hear them in the background here as well. My son, Sam, was a member of that group a few years back, so I'm pretty familiar with what they do and how impressive it is. However, I think it was undoubtedly true that that was the first time that many people in the audience even were aware of that group. Being the local quote-unquote expert sitting among the group of athletic parents, I can't tell you how many comments I got about how incredible the performance was. Nobody really knew what to expect, but they assured me that that wasn't it. They loved that it was diverse. They loved that it was up close. They loved that it was theatrical. They loved that it was wholeheartedly BV. I'm not sure how the performance came to be, but I hope, as everyone else does, that it'll be a staple for years to come. I think we're all well aware of another event that's a favorite of a lot of our residents. Whenever the Special Olympics teams take the court, there's a captive and enthusiastic audience. The February 20th game was no exception, as pointed out in the BV Journal, which I was happy to see and thought, I think they might have stolen my thunder. But I think that I can piggyback on what they said. It was really fun to see our fans, the students, the players. They seem to take as much pride in cheering on those athletes as anything else in the night. But a couple of specific things stuck out to me. First of all, the entirety of the Spearfish team stuck around. Both boys, girls, they waited on the bench to cheer. It probably didn't hurt that their coach, Ben Schultz, was a BV grad and a recent inductee into our Hall of Fame. But even the crowd was cheering enthusiastically. And then I noticed a couple other things. A couple of BV players, Wrigley on Team Black and Keenan on Team Red, guarding each other with veracity throughout the night. I kept a close eye on them because I thought it could escalate in an instant. Then, at the end of the game, both of them fighting for the final possession, they showed who they truly were. They stopped, they found each other, and they hugged. Two fierce competitors showing us all that there's bigger things out there than the game, and if we could only all be so insightful. I asked Coach Carroll if there was a plan to have the Special Olympics athletes have an autograph night similar to the varsity teams. I think the only problem there is that we might struggle to find a place big enough to support the line that's going to be that long. Just a few more reasons why I am proud to call Brandon Valley home.
Thank you very much. All right. Administration reports, Administrative Center, Superintendent Larson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few items to update the board on here this evening. First and foremost, Berkman Valley Elementary was able to get out to both construction sites today. Progress continues. Finish work is beginning on the west side of that respective building, and then they'll work west to east. So gymnasium, community room, common space, kitchen, all of that is starting to receive finishes as we speak. And then once they finish there, then the other stuff on the eastern portion of the building will be ready for them to work back through that process. So no change to anything on that, on time and on budget. We have processed the respective third grade requests. So if third graders have requested to stay in their current location and not go to Berkman Valley Elementary, we have processed those. We will be communicating those here in the very near future. The open enrollment requests from everyone else are in and being evaluated. I would anticipate that those are processed here either later this week or early next week. Staffing assignments for general education classrooms are being made here tonight, and then we'll work through the special education based on need, and then also the encores as we find availability within our current staff and or through our new staffing processes. The Brandon Valley Middle School addition, that process continues to go as well, remains on time and on budget. The one item that I would note regarding Brandon Valley Middle School project is the way that we designed it is for a majority of that construction to take place outside of the current facility. So the connections will have to occur over the course of the summer. So there is a lot of work and there is a lot of things that have to be accomplished over the course of the summer in terms of connecting the new additions onto our current building. So the message really is, once we get done with school, stay away from the middle school. The gymnasiums and whatnot will remain open and usable, but we really need staff and students to stay away to the greatest extent possible so we can get that work wrapped up and finished up. It certainly is relevant to know the middle school construction project will be ongoing June, July, even I would anticipate in the beginning of August they're wrapping up. So it's really going to be a tight summer just because of the amount of connectivity work that needs to be done, but we most certainly can get there. Impactful road construction projects, I think we've talked a lot about those. You're going to begin to see those pop up here as the spring weather begins. I know we even have some road bridge closures and maintenance things going on out and about. So be prepared for those various road construction projects that will impact our timings. Free and reduced meal applications remain open. As we always state, if circumstances change for a family, fill those out, as the Brandon Valley School District does cover the cost for a reduced meal for families. Academic calendar would just note that today is conferences for our intermediate school and middle school children. Tomorrow, our elementary and high school children have conferences. There is school on Thursday. I repeat again, there is school on Thursday. There's no school on Friday, March 13th. And then you can see spring break lines with Easter, 2-hour early dismissal on the 2nd, no school on April 3rd or April 6th. South Dakota legislative session, we are wrapping up. It has been a interesting, unique, and challenging session. Our priorities remain very, very, very principled. We look for additional funding and resources and ultimately local control. And then lastly is to promote public education. I guess one item I would note, I think right now the current discussion and or conversation surrounds about 1.4 to 1.5%. There's some of that going, could potentially get a little higher than that, but could potentially go lower. It's one of those conversations. So they're in the final days of that. The one item I guess I just want to note is that as we as District 2 constituents work to make our decision-making process and make our voices known at the election polls, I just would encourage everyone to be educated voters and make certain and evaluate how our district representatives are supporting public education and what they're doing to promote ultimately the health, wellness, and benefit of public education, because that's critically important to District 2, which basically is the Brandon Valley School District. So would certainly encourage our citizens to do that. Budget process overview, you've seen this. The biggest reason I'm noting this for this evening is we'll have our capital outlay budget approved. Important to know that that is a preliminary capital outlay budget that allows us to bid out our big ticket items. Sometimes that means we could do a little more, sometimes that means we could do a little less, but this is a critical approval when we look at getting the ball rolling through that respective process. And then lastly, something that kind of stimulated here since our last meeting, our last school board evening, we held a strategy summit with federal, state, and local officials here at the community room on Friday. It was a collaborative roundtable where we talked about and reviewed some of the main arterial connection challenges that we have. And I will point to Redwood and Chestnut as a multi-jurisdictional main arterial challenge that we have. I'll also point to the Park Maple corridor as a main arterial connection challenge and issue that we have. And ultimately worked with those folks, talked through the dynamic challenges, the dynamic issues, what could potential solutions be or potential paths forward be. Really just appreciate Governor Roden's suggestion of our meeting with the Office of Economic Development. South Dakota Department of Transportation was there. City of Brandon, City of Sioux Falls, the Brandon Township. Senator Rounds had representation there. Johnson, Governor Roden. Yeah, so it was a great opportunity to get around the table and have that conversation and discussion. I think it's probably a meeting that maybe just led to more meetings. So we'll continue to work to benefit our Brandon Valley School District and leverage all available outside resources and help folks try to connect dots so that they can put together the main arterial infrastructure necessary to support our growing community. With that, would certainly entertain any questions you have.
All right, if there are no questions, thank you very much, Superintendent Larson. Mr. Lundberg, anything additional?
Just one thing on the topic of Brandon Valley students being successful, and one thing that Mr. Hofer did not recognize his own daughter hitting 2 home runs in an indoor softball tournament this weekend. A lot of good stuff happening. You're just too humble, Ryan.
Thank you. High school, anything this evening? All right. Middle school, I think they're busy. Intermediate school, and I'm thinking they're busy. Special services, anything tonight? Elementaries, any of you guys? Director of instruction, operations manager, activities director? Oh, good.
I think we'll hire him on as to speak eloquently about the activities from now on and get me off this stage. A couple things. Appreciate that, Mr. Scott. Just a couple things I wanted to recognize that Ryan had not mentioned. We did have state wrestling over the last week. We had our girls took 9 girls to the state tournament and placed 6 girls on the podium receiving medals. Big achievement for their program in its kind of infancy here at Brandon Valley. And then our boys were able to qualify 10 boys to the state tournament, and 9 of those students placed on the podium, with 4 of those boys being state champions, with Levi Veskrina, Elijah Shunke, Beckett Rehorst, and Brendan Omi, all bringing home state titles for that. And then as well, we will be spending the next couple weeks out in Rapid City. So if you're looking for me, I'll be out there, but our boys and girls teams both qualified for the state tournament. So looking forward to seeing them represent our community in that area as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, next item, general business, approve the 2026-2027 preliminary capital outlay budget.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Had a little over $5.5 million in requests. I've outlined $4,725,000 in expenditures. Just a few items, I guess, that I would note too is the investment in technology is extreme here within the Brandon Valley School District. In addition to that, we've talked about this over the course of the last couple of years. We have phased smart board replacement continuing. There's a boiler at Brandon Elementary that's multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. High school locker remodel. This will very likely be a phased approach, but we have our old, I'm gonna call them old, high school auxiliary locker rooms that have seen their life expectancy completed in terms of tile. Yes, we have used them. They have been used, and we are going to renovate and remodel those respective areas. So I'm going to begin that respective process. And then another item I just wanted to note is adequate and appropriate resources allocated to transportation. We have one large bus, 2 mini buses, and an SUV within this preliminary capital outlay budget. So obviously more needs and resources, but we prioritize, do the very best we can. Very comfortable with what is put forward in terms of our ability to get the work done too during the summer. That is something that we're always cognizant of. Summers get pretty short in terms of with the work that needs to be done and the amount that can get done. So I would recommend approval, would certainly entertain any questions that you have.
Just a minor question, I guess. I just see the library. Is this school library / community? Is there community requests as well coming?
So, Mr. Scott, in terms of the high school library, the way that one would work, we have expenditures associated, and then we work with the city in terms of if their budget allows. So roofing, rooftop units, all that, because they're shared expenses with the community library.
So the amount here is shared, or is that more or less
Depends on which expense it is.
just the request amount anyways?
Those are all BV,
Okay,
strictly expenses.
Thank you, Mr. Lundberg.
thank you.
And my super tech savvy mind wants to know what a document camera is. I saw that over and over and over and over, and we're gonna watch TV tonight, aren't we?
I think it's something that displays, not Netflix. I think it's something that displays,
I missed Marshall last night. Can we watch that?
you know what, you might have to if I don't get it to work.
Oh, God.
The answer to that question is yes. Yay! Can I get a round of applause for the,
So now I can't remember what I was asking.
yeah, a document camera, I believe it's something
Oh,
that
is that what I
displays a
was asking?
document.
Okay, okay. Well, I figured that, it's just that I saw $400 for document cameras in like, I don't know, all the different places, so I'm like, well, that's gotta be something that we need, so I was just curious, more than anything. Any other questions on the budget, or preliminary budget, excuse me? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the 2026-2027 preliminary capital outlay budget as presented, please.
So, second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Under consent, I would entertain a motion to approve items 2 through 6 as presented, please.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Personnel, I would entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 11, please.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. The rest are information only. Takes us to communications. Building permit applications are there for your review if you would like to look at those. Otherwise, board reports. Does anyone have a formal board report this evening?
Just along the legislative sessions, there's been a lot, we're not done yet. There's a lot that could still make its way to the end. But I do want to call out, obviously, there's a lot that each of our legislators do. We have some that are going to be giving up their positions or running for new ones. Because we're all in this room and we all obviously support public education, those tuning in, just really want to give a shout out to legislators Cull and Colbeck. They have been very, very steadfast in supporting public education. So I appreciate all the work that they've done this session as well as others. Again, not speaking on anything else but just public education, and really appreciate that. As Dr. Larson said, as we get ready to start doing voting of those vacant positions. Just really urge every citizen to make sure they do the research, and we choose the right people, the best people to support our community and specifically public education. And I would just say, don't get your information from Bookface or IG. There are better places to get that from, so thank you.
For Child Nutrition and Wellness Committee, I know that we have a meeting coming up, but this past Thursday, we had a food show, which was pretty cool. So those of you who got to go, there was a lot of kids in that, in one space. We had food vendors that, were here that, and, Director Cruz and Assistant Director Eddie brought in. This was all food that we don't currently have on the menu. So it was all new things that the kids could try and give feedback on. It was pretty fun to watch, and if you didn't see the little segment on Dakota News Now about it, I would encourage you to watch that. It was a lot of fun. They want to try to make it a yearly thing. Maybe, I think the only thing was maybe some timing issues or whatever, but I think it went really well. I only had one kiddo that came up to me and said he had a stomach ache, and I think that was because he'd probably eaten lunch and then decided to eat a little bit more, so. Anyone else have any other formal board reports? All right, travel report there for your review. Otherwise, that takes us to the end of our scheduled agenda, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. And for those that you need to go to parent conferences, have fun and good luck.